Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chesswise. Today we are at the next topic, that is concluding the attack, and we are going to learn from the master of attack. So as we know, Mikhail Tal is called the master of sacrifice. So who is the master of attack? It is Boris Spassky. So Boris Spassky was the 11th world champion before Fischer. We can see that Spassky's development is complete. He had made his king safe on h1, removing from this a7 g1 diagonal, and now black is about to castle and is looking for a good game. But the problem is he has failed to castle in spite of so many moves getting over. We know the requirement that around 14 moves if castling is not done, usually it's very risky. Here we can see most of the minor pieces have got exchanged and still the black king is in the center. White doesn't want to miss out on this opportunity and wants to finish off the game instantly. Let's look at some ideas what white should look at. See, both his rooks are very well placed, so they can be used to control. Here f1 can be used to control the f5. d1 is already set to control the d5. All white has to do is move this knight on d4. If we look at the lines, it's not very tricky, but there are some detailed analysis. Knight into e6 is most obvious move. After knight e6 fe, many want to play qg4, but white has an even better way of going in that position. After knight e6 fe6, I hope you must have found the move queen a4 check, causing serious damage now. qb5 is almost forced. We will see what happens after ke7 also. So Spassky goes in with the move knight e6. Not very difficult to spot, but if we could match all the moves and calculation what he did, then it would be a great achievement, and that is what the objective is of doing these positions. F takes e6, and now comes queen a4 check. Let's look at the move ke7 now. After ke7, first white goes queen h4 check, pushing the king to e8. Castling is broken, and then he attacks the weak square e6. So comes queen h4 check, king e8, and now qg4. Very nice double attack. First threat is queen e6. If this queen moves away, then the pawn on g7 will be taken. One of the main variations is rook f8 here. After rook f8, there comes queen e6 check, b7 almost forced. After qe7, we see that qc6 check wins. After b7 comes rook f8 check, king takes f8 forced, and now rook d7. Even the move rook f1 was very strong. After rook f1, ke8, queen f7, kd8, we see that rook d1 also wins. But rook d7 settles the things instantly. Thus after the move queen a4, the move qb5 is absolutely forced. Now white goes qg4. This was the main point. First, driving the queen away from b7. Now g7 and e6 both are simultaneously attacked. There is hardly anything that black can do. Let's look at some lines. After the move bishop e7, we see that white can simply do qg7. The lines would be similar to the one which we will have in the game. Rook f8, bf8, and then queen takes h7. That position is very much similar to the game. After rook f8 here, there still comes queen e6, bishop e7 forced, rook f8 check, king f8, and now rook f1 is not available. So first comes c4, driving the queen. This move is very important, and now wherever queen goes, there are different problems. Like qb7, we already know there is rook d7. Let's look at the move qc5 and qb8. After qc5, now there is rook f1 check, ke8, and the very strong qg8. If kd7, then a8 is lost, and after bf8, there is queen f7 check, kd8, and many moves win here. e6 is winning, and queen f8, rook f8 wins the rook as well. After c4, if queen b8, there is rook f1 check, king e8, and here queen f7, kd8, rook d1 wins, or there is another very nice mating pattern, rook f7, threatening mate on e7. Now qc6 or qc7, then rook g7. Rook g8 would be mating. So king d8 forced, rook g8, kc7, qe7 check. So all the pieces would get traded and white will be 4 pawns up. So after qg4, black played qc6. It's very important to guard the e6 square, and now there is qg7. At the end of this video, I will try to put the whole tree of analysis, a picture of whole tree of analysis, so that we can have the position and whatever lines we have discussed like a table format. So here rook f8, rook takes f8, bishop takes f8, and now queen h7. One would wonder, why is white doing all this? It's not because of the pawn, but the threat is qg6 check. Once there is qg6, it's game over, because what will happen is after qg6 ke7, white is aiming at rook d6. The queen would get attacked and e6 would fall. We will check some lines now. After bishop c5, there is the move b4, first forcing the bishop to choose where it wants to go. After b7, there is either qg6 check or qg8 check. Both are very strong. King f8, and now rook f1 check. It's game over. After bf6, rook f6, ke7, rook f7, and qg8 would mate. Thus after b4, the bishop has to go to other diagonal, but then comes first queen g6 check. Black played rook c8 in the game, and now comes qg6 check, ke7, and rook d6. Black chose to resign over here. There is nothing much in the game. After qd6, ed6 is there. If qc4, trying to guard the pawn on e6, then also game is settled with the move qh7. After ke8, qd7 mates instantly. After bg7, there is qg7 check, ke8, and now perhaps very strong queen d7 check, king f8, and rook d3, stopping queen f1 mate and threatening rook f3. The position was not very difficult, but there were certainly some complexities, and I hope you will enjoy when you look at all the lines. It will help us improve our calculation definitely. I hope you are finding these lessons useful and instructive. Do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time.